Then you look at the other guys like, come on, one more. Actually, it's sport science. You should never train to failure. Intensity can only be, sport science, can only be tasted once in a month.
Once a month?
Once a month. Once every 4 weeks, actually. That's the term they use in sport science. So the training is volume, only until competition. Then you do intensity.
No. Wait, what did you say?
Okay. What happens on intensity when you redline the body?
Failure. You just fail.
What can the body do after that, apart from recovery? The story of Milo? You don't know about the story. This is actually very interesting. Then you look at everyone's there not to train, dressed to impress.
Absolutely.
Girls with a tight trainer, she's doing this and she's looking at the mirror, so she's looking at him. Then you look at the other guys like, come on, one more. He's basically want to make sure everyone is watching it. You see what I mean? Over there, bro. Actually, it's sport science. You should never train to failure.
Serious?
You should never train to failure, bro.
We're talking about
weightlifting. Sport science, weightlifting, anything you want to do. If you look at the Russian, and we talked about this, if you look at the Russian, which are, the best in weightlifting, beat the Americans and everywhere. If you look at the method of training, it's volume, only until competition. Then you do intensity. And then another 2 weeks of just relaxing and just psychological thinking.
Don't you think intensity...
In wrestling, in martial art, sambo, everything, they do the same.
No, wait. Doesn't intensity mean no? Wait, what did you say?
Okay. What happens on intensity when you redline the body?
Failure. You just fail.
What can the body do after that, apart from recovery?
Go into overdrive, no?
You can't do even if you put him on overdrive. The body cannot improve anymore. You can only recover. That's the only thing you can do. Yeah. So if you redline, I'll give you a best example. Actually, this was in a very interesting podcast with Firas Zahabi. He explained it, but I wouldn't explain it better. Let's say you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're doing boxing 3 times in a week. Monday, Thursday, which happens here in Morocco. I'm going to explain it to you. Monday, Thursday and Saturday. And you go hard. You go there, boom, you try to take his out, you try to choke him in BJJ, you're going hard. Yeah. But I do BJJ every day, very lightly. I'm never, because if you do something on Monday, you can't train the next day with that intensity. You're sore. So you can only do it Monday, and then next session is Thursday, and then next session is Saturday. But I go every day light. At the end of the year, I have more training sessions than you.
Of course.
So I have volumes on you. But I do my intensity, but periodically. The intensity that you do, I do it only maybe once. Actually, sport science tells you intensity can only be, sport science, can only be tasted once in a month.
Once a month? Once
a month. Once every 4 weeks, actually. That's the term they use in sport science. I just say the month because some months has 31 days and whatnot. Once a month. Why? Because you train Monday, Thursday and Saturday, and I train every day lightly. If we fight, your intensity that you're going to put on me is going to be irrelevant. Because I already tasted the intensity, but I have more practice on you. So I'm going to mangle you. I'm going to trick you the way I'm going to play with you. You're a street fighter. It's easy for me to trick you. You're fighting with emotion. I'm like, when I grip you, I'm gripping you very soft. And you're like, what, this guy? I'm going to... But after 2 minutes, you're going to... I'm gassed out, but I'm very calm. I already know how to do it. I'll give you another thing. I'm going to train you now. Sure. You're an unfit guy, fat guy. I'm going to try. Choose any, just to show you that you can never redline the body. Choose any exercise, body weight, for example. Just something body weight. Pull up, push up, anything. Squats.
Push-ups.
Huh? Push-ups, yeah, good. Classic stuff. Let's say we know that your maximum push-up is 10.
Consecutively?
Yes, 10 consecutive. If that's the maximum. If I put a gun on you and say do 11, you couldn't do 11. So we know your maximum is 10. When I train you, am I going to make you do 10 push-ups? No. I'm going to make you do 5 every day. Why? Because I am getting. Because if I make you then 10, then if I try to get you tomorrow, you'll be like, I'm sore. And then the next session Thursday, you're gonna think about that. So the mental state that's gonna take you to go back and do those things because of the memory of what happened last time is humongous. And be like, oh, coach, no, I'm gonna make you do 5. And to 5 becomes like a drink of water. I'm gonna make you do 6. But you're training every day, you're never sore.
Of course. That's a perfect way of looking at it.
You're never sore. And if anything happens any day during the week, you can still perform because you are not sore. But when you train hard, you're like, somebody just joke with you, I just train chest, man. Why are you doing with me? Do you see what I mean? So intensity doesn't mean anything.
Of course.
It's good at the beginning because people love it because they see results at the beginning. But for the long term,
it's taxing on the body.
it's taxing on the body.
Of course.
Do you see what I mean?
I agree.
Firas Zahabi explained it the best way. And I love that man because he speaks. You've got Firas Zahabi and you've got another Russian trainer called Tatsulin.
I've never heard of that.
Bro, that guy is a genius.
What does he do?
He's the guy basically who trains with kettlebell. He's like, God, probably his 60s now. He's in his 60s. Man, the guy is strong.
What's his specialty or discipline? What's he do?
Training, strength training. Watch his podcast with Joe Rogan. Just put GRE Tatsulin and watch what he has. And he talks about the history of the Russians and why they were beating the Americans.
What's his name?
Tatsulin. I will send it to you later.
Yeah, please.
Bro, that guy, he's gonna get you scratching your head. He talks about this, the idea of the story of Milo. You don't know about the story. This is actually very interesting. The story of Milo is the story of a guy who he carries this calf. You know the calf, which is the little. You know what a calf is?
No.
The cow, baby cow. Yes.
Okay.
So he carries the calf every day. So every day, and the calf keeps growing. So he's training with the calf every day. So he's training can you imagine? He's training gradually, and the cow is growing. So the weight is increasing gradually.
By the day, yes.
So he's saying that's the method you should be approaching. And he said, where do you think farmer strength comes from? You know what farmer strength? Do you think farmer strength goes every day? Come on, one more! Come on, give me one more! Because they lift every day, but they don't red line the body.
Absolutely.
But when you shake a farmer's hand, he's strong.
Absolutely.
That's the approach to sports science. Do you see what I
Is that
mean?
how the Russians do it?
So that's how the Russians been doing it. Volume, keep doing it. And he said, Tatsulin in that podcast, he said, first of all, this method, I love it for my students because it weeds out the impatient ones.
Absolutely, that's very important.
He said he weeds out those ones that wants to just damn tomorrow I want to look at that t-shirt and I want to beat people up. I don't need him. He has the إنما الأعمال بالنيات, action rewarded with intention. This guy's intention to train or approach train is very bad. So we should not allow him to train.
You know what I think? They will misuse it. They will misuse their skills.
They will.